The equities market closed trading activities on a negative note for the first day in the new week as NSE-ASI records 1.27% loss amid increased volume turnover as market sentiment and market breadth closed negative. Its year-to-date returns currently stands at minus 10.49%. Welcome to the Market Opening Gong, the program that gives you updates from the Nigerian capital markets. This edition captures the market performance for Monday, July 6, 2020. From the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the all-share index closed at 24,026.5 basis points with a market capitalization of 12.533 trillion naira in 4,216 deals. At the close of trading for the day, investors lost 161.75 billion to open the week negative as market recorded 14 gainers to 17 losers. Cornerstone Insurance, Nigerian Aviation Handling Company and Zenith Bank were top gainers for equity, while Better Glass PLC, Julius Berger Nigeria and Livestock Feeds were among the top losers. Guaranty Trust Bank, Access Bank and United Bank for Africa were top players in terms of trade volumes and most active to boost market turnover. Looking at the FMDQ OTC exchange, the debt market size closed at 28.74 trillion naira. The NAFEX rate closed at 387 naira 50 kobo to a dollar, while the I&E FX rate opened at 387 naira to a dollar and closed at 286 naira 50 kobo to a dollar. For the NASD OTC, the NSI closed at 716.96 basis points with a market capitalization of 526.65 billion. The volume of shares traded was 10,600 and 1.24 million in terms of value traded in 3 deals executed for the day. You can also check for global, commodity, currency and other indices on the economic dashboard displaying on the screen. For the highlights from yesterday, BUA Cement has announced that it is set to establish a 3 million metric ton cement plant and 50 megawatt power plant in Guyuk and Lamude local government of Adamawa State in the northeastern region of Nigeria. This was revealed by the chairman Abdul Samad Rabiu at the BUA Cement Management Team courtesy call to the Adamawa State Governor Amhadu Umari Fintri in the Government House, Yola. The chairman BUA Cement stressed that the Guyuk Cement Plant will be the major investment in the northeast by BUA. When completed, the cement plant will bring BUA's total capacity to 14 million metric tons per annum. Also, Fidelity Bank PLC notified the Nigerian Stock Exchange and the general public of the following changes to its board of directors. Mr. Ernest Ebi, MFR, who has been serving as chairman board of directors, and Mr. Seni Adetu as an independent non-executive director, having completed their tenure in accordance with the bank's internal governance policy, will be stepping down from the board. Mr. Ernest Ebi will step down from the board effective August 14, 2020. The retiring chairman will be succeeded by Mr. Mustafa Chike Obi, an appointment approved by the Central Bank of Nigeria. For the market activities to watch today, the Financial Center for Sustainability Lagos, in partnership with PwC Nigeria, will hold a webinar themed Sustainable Finance in Emerging Markets Portfolio Diversification by 1 p.m. It will have Mrs. Kemi Awodeyin, Managing Director, Chapel Hill Denham Advisory Limited, Mrs. Toyin Sani, Group CEO, Emerging Africa Capital, Mr. Bola Onodele Koko, Chairman, Financial Center for Sustainability, and Dr. Andrew Nevin, Thematic Lead Research, Education and Engagement, FC4SL. In a continuation of our series on how to invest and create wealth for millennials with Mrs. Tomi Balogun, the CEO of Vestra Company at 12Vest, she gives her perspective on limitations millennials face in investing today.
Absolutely. I think the first thing is education, right? So we all go to school, we learn a lot about whatever courses we go to learn about, even those that study accounting, because I worked in consulting, I did ACCA at some point.
Yes,
we really do not learn. Yeah, so we really do not get financial education. So financial education is really learning how to manage your personal finances, how to manage it, how to budget, how to multiply it, how to invest, how to make financial decisions for yourself. Right, so most people just think that it's something complex. So it's not complex because we all spend money every day. If you want to, when you earn an income, you decide, okay, how much do I spend on food? How much do I spend on clothing? How much do I give to my family? That's basically having a plan for your money. Now, the financial education is going a step further to saying, how can I put this money to work to invest it to ensure that it can earn me some interest payments or some additional stream of income? How can I own assets that will earn me cash flow? So, like I said, the first thing is we don't get education. Nobody's teaching us financial education. I had to go on this journey myself. And in Nigeria, because of the interesting state of our markets, we really don't have a lot of books that talk about how to invest in the Nigerian markets. Now, you can get a lot of books about how to invest in the US, in the UK. There's a lot of information online, but you see, the information for Nigeria is in the heads of a lot of experts and adults that have done this over time. So for me, I had to start looking out for who are the people I could learn from. So I would go into an office and say, please, can you teach me how to invest in treasury bills? Can you teach me how to invest in the stock market? It was a lot of education because these people just have all of this knowledge in their heads, right? It's very hard to find someone who has invested over 25 years in the stock market. One of my former bosses I had to sit down with him to learn every day. So education is very key. Second thing is access. I mean, thankfully, compared to 5 or 6 years ago when I started investing, now there are a lot more apps that you can invest with, right? So access is a lot better now than before. Before, you had to walk into a bank. I remember walking into a bank and even the customer service person did not know what treasury bills was, right? But now there's a lot more information. So education and access. A lot of financial institutions probably do not understand how to serve the millennial and the Generation Z market. So on that tour, for instance, I went with a pension company and we were talking about, thinking about retirement and your future. And for a lot of them, it was like over their heads because think about it. Do you think about your retirement? Like retirement is like years to come. Nobody's thinking about that now. We're living in the present. You're on social media. You want to travel. You want to see the world. You want to do so much. So who is talking about retirement? Please, it's something like our parents used to talk about. So it seemed like something they didn't really connect to. And I thought that this was really clear that a lot of financial institutions don't understand how millennials think, right? So yes, we live more in the present. We don't want to work in a job for 20 or 30 or 40 years. We want to express ourselves. We want to live on purpose. We want to impact the world. We want to travel the world. Social media has opened up the world to us, right? So we just need funding that can help us do and live the lives we want to live. Now, of course, there has to be a balance where you can see that you need to think about the future 20 to 30 years to come. But don't tell me that I need to spend all my days now planning for retirement. That doesn't work. So I saw that there was a gap there somewhere. So even with the second issue, which is access, I feel like a lot of financial institutions need to bridge the gap. For instance, a lot of millennials want to own their homes and houses, but you see, it's not that easy because mortgage rates are crazy. So we need them to begin to bring up more solutions and products that will help millennials invest and own assets. Because in Nigeria, 60% or more of the population are young people, right? Less than 30 to 35 years of age. So it's time that we begin to focus on that segment of the population because that's what determines the future of Nigeria in the years to come.
Join us tomorrow as she talks on the financial markets and demystifying investment terms for millennials. And that will be all for this edition of the Market Opening Gong. Visit www.proshareng.com to get more updates from our news stories and videos. Connect with us on our social media platforms showing on the screen for further updates on our market reports. The ProShare mobile app is also available on Apple Store and Play Store on your mobile device, which allows you to customize your preferred news and videos. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching and do stay safe.